welcome to today's video. As you can guess by the title of today's video, this is our post potty training, potty learning kind of recap video. It's where I'm going to share my experience potty training my now 2.5-year-old. She was not quite 2.5-year-old when we started this little journey. Yes, my 2.5-year-old toddler. Whew, it was a journey. Anyway, yeah, so I'm going to kind of recap our journey, our experience, what worked, what didn't work, what method we used, and all of that stuff. So if you are interested in this video and are also interested in other videos regarding motherhood, lifestyle, vlogs, anything like that, please be sure to subscribe to the channel and like this video for more content. Okay, so let's just jump into it. And FYI, I do have a kind of pre-potty training video, and I will link that below and in a little card here, so that if you want to check that out first, you can, because that kind of detailed everything I had prepared for potty training before I had any idea what I was getting into. So, all right. With that being said, let's just get into it. So, full disclosure, we first attempted potty training in January. This is now the beginning of March. It's safe to say round one just did not work. It was a total fail, if I'm going to be honest. I thought Ailey, my toddler, I thought she was ready. I thought she was excited. I thought she wanted to do it. She showed so many signs of readiness. She didn't wet her diaper overnight or when she took naps. She, showed discomfort when, she had a dirty diaper, and yeah, clearly I was wrong. But you know what? That's okay. We live and we learn. So basically, we scrapped round one. We tried for about, we tried hard for 3 days. So we did try the 3-day method from Big Little Feelings, and it just didn't work for us. So, I stretched it a little bit because I was like, maybe she'll get it. Maybe she'll make that connection. Maybe, it just didn't happen. We tried for a week, and then we had things coming up. We had people coming to town. We were getting ready for a trip. It didn't work out. So we just pulled the plug on that, and I said, just put it on the back burner. We will try again. So that's what happened. So that was about mid-January. That's when that happened. And then we more or less took a break for about a month and a half. And during that time, I put her back. I did not put her back into diapers, and I kept her in her pull-ups. So at least the idea of no longer kind of getting changed in diapers didn't go back to her, if that makes sense. So I wanted to at least keep something that we had changed to make progress, just not make it completely worthless time that we spent. Anyway, so yes, so after we kind of finished up our travels and things, I decided, let's try it again. She seemed like she might be a little bit more taking to it. Like, we tried a couple times when we were in New York visiting my family, and it seemed like she didn't feel so angry about it, if that makes sense. So I was like, okay, maybe we'll try again. We have to try again at some point. So let's just see what happens. If it fails, it fails. And if it doesn't, great. So came back, settled back in a little bit, and March 1st, that is when we restarted. So basically round 2 of potty training. It went so much better than I had expected. And I had switched up so many things. So that's kind of what I'm going to go into detail about. So the first thing that we changed, we basically eliminated the small potty. Now, I had bought several things, and I had bought 2 small little toddler-sized potties, and honestly, she didn't like it. She didn't like sitting there. And then on top of not liking, she liked sitting there for fun. She did not like sitting there to go, if that makes sense. But on top of she not liking to actually go on these small potties, she found it way too easy to get up and run around. So scrap that, and we decided to just put her on the regular toilet, regular potty. So I ordered some of those like toilet seats and like hooks and like stools and stuff. So I will put pictures of, I set up 2 bathrooms in our house, one downstairs, one upstairs. And those are kind of like, it's the same setup in both. So we have a seat, we have a hook for the toilet to hang up the seat, we have a stool for me to sit on, and then we have our potty basket. So potty basket idea we kept. It was just more or less the setup. We needed a different setup. So what we did was we just put her on the toilet, and she liked it a lot better, a lot better. And you know, if we're being honest, it was easier for me to control or help control the situation because she couldn't get on and off by herself. So yeah, so we changed that setup, and that worked so much better, so much better. She was less upset and angry about being on the toilet because I felt like she knew that that was where you were supposed to go, if that makes sense. It was almost like the little ones were toys, and she was like, why am I on these things? And putting her on the real big toilet, she was like, okay, this is where I'm actually supposed to go. This makes more sense. So what do you know? So, and then the reason why I got the stool for like her foot is because I did want her to have a place to rest her legs or her feet so they're not just dangling. And if she needed, you know, a little bit of help, she could put her legs up, like her knees up, and kind of be in a more optimal position for going. All right, so let's just check some notes here. So I kept a little diary about basically just like the first week so that I could have some notes to kind of talk about and all that stuff. So like I said, she is more or less steadily dry during naps and overnight. So that's a big win just in terms of eventually getting her out of the pull-ups. But, you know, I know there are times where it's just not going to work. So we're still keeping her in the pull-ups during sleep because I don't think mentally she is ready to be completely without support, especially during sleep, because she wouldn't know she's not quite there yet where she would wake up to know to go to the bathroom, if that makes sense. Anyway, so, sorry, a little tangent. So, quick summary. So we had so much success at waking up and going to the bathroom. Like that she had no problem with because she, you know, her body actually really needed to go. So waking up, no problem. She woke up, she went. She ate breakfast, and then she's more or less on a schedule. It varies day to day, obviously, but usually after she has eaten breakfast and drank, you know, whatever liquid she's drinking that morning, she will need to go both number 1 and number 2. So she had no problem. It took a little time for sure, and that's why we had like the potty basket with the books and everything. And she went. So she did both, and that was great. And I will say, as you know, just because we are on that topic, the potty basket toys did not work for her, which I found interesting, but I guess the toys are too distracting. Even just like little figurines and stuff, no. Books worked. Books with lift flap or like a pull or some sort of actual activity or something for her to get engaged in, that worked. So we basically have 2 baskets, and it has different books and stuff, but you know, more or less it's the same content. The other change that I made in the method of going potty, I put her on a timer. I did not do this the first round. I, you know, tried to encourage her with words and, you know, telling her like, listen to your body, you know, if you feel that, you can just, the potty's right there, you know, all those things, like that kind of script. And I tried with her, it didn't work. So I said, you know what, we're just gonna do a timer. So day 1, I set a timer for every 30 minutes. Now, this was a little bit excessive for sure, because there were many times where we would go to the potty, she would sit there, and she wasn't ready to go. Luckily, she was not too upset about actually sitting and trying. And sometimes we did sit for longer than I think we should have, but I think it helped her kind of really associate the ideas like pee and poop go in the potty, in the toilet. So that's where I go. So yeah, so for day 1, we did a timer like 30 minutes. Day 2, same thing, did the timer, same, I think for like the first 3 days, we did stay home. That is the one thing that did not change. We did do 3 days of staying home, and we did not leave the house, so that, that worked out really well. I think we did our first outing, we started on a Wednesday, and we did our first outing on a Friday evening. So yeah, we followed the 3-day no going anywhere until, basically until she was ready to leave the house and make like small trips, small outings and such. But yeah, so the timer, it worked, and then it didn't work. So it worked because I gave her many chances to go, but it didn't work because she really just like didn't need to go that often. And of course she doesn't need, like, no one needs to go every 30 minutes unless, there's something wrong, which I would have been worried if she was going every 30 minutes. But yeah, I finally figured out her real cues. The first time, I think I couldn't, I knew when she had to go, and especially like for poop, like I knew when that was coming. But it was a little bit different this time. Like I could sense more like telling cues, and I think that's what was really important. It was really important for me to pay more attention to that factor as opposed to waiting for her to tell me she needed to go. So I think that was a huge help. And then I basically, as the days kind of went on, I figured out like her schedule of going. So, that obviously this is very specific to my daughter, but once I kind of figured out her schedule, it could help me be on like a little bit more alert and be like, oh, like I need to kind of keep an eye out. Like it's been 30 minutes since she had a snack and a drink. Like, is she going to be ready to go soon? It's been, she just finished her lunch. Does she need to? All those things really helped kind of let me really zone in on those cues from her, because she wasn't telling me that she had to go. So that's like the next thing I was going to. So she's still not quite telling me that she has to go to the potty. And now we're like about a week into this now. Actually we're 1 week into our potty training, and maybe there's been twice where she's actually told me she needs to go, and successfully we have gone. But she won't do it regularly. So I think she just knows her routine. So in terms of, that's what I was saying, like the wake up potty break or the wake up potty trip has always been a success, because that just became routine. It's like she wakes up, we go to the potty, so she knows like that's coming. So I think it's just those other times in the day where she almost like doesn't want to tell me, or if she's telling me, I'm missing it. So we are working through that. We are, if I'm going to be perfectly honest, we're probably like 50% potty trained in the sense that, because she's still not telling me exactly like, oh, I need to go potty, or, mommy potty. Like she's not saying that to me yet, at least not all the time, like very randomly I think she is. She's also, physically, she cannot get onto the toilet herself. So that's the other issue we're gonna have to tackle. Like the stool helps, but she still, we have to figure that part out. But anyway, so yeah, so it is a learning process. I know it is not linear by any means, but I am just so proud of her, and I'm so proud of everything that she has accomplished. And, I'm proud of me too, because this was tough. It was really like, and it still continues to be pretty stressful, but we are at that point now where we have a good rhythm, we have a good routine, and I think I just need to still just be on a little bit more alert until we really get the hang of this, and help her to understand, she just needs to speak to me. She needs to tell me that she needs to do these things, and I will help her. So I constantly reaffirm that with her. It's like, especially if she has an accident, because she still has one here and there, definitely not as many as the first few days, maybe like one a day. And that's only if, something else is distracting her. So I've gotten to that point where I can catch that. But anyway, the point is that we'll get there, and when she does have an accident, I will tell her, I had to stop myself a lot of times by saying, oh, it's okay, because I was trying to avoid that, and they tell you like, you know, it's, you know, more or less not okay to have the accident. So I was trying to use other words like, you know, like, oh no, like we need to change you because you had an accident, you know, your leg is all wet, you know, we have to clean this up, and like, you know, narrating what had happened. So I'm really trying hard to be like, oh, it's okay, like, no, because I don't want her to think that's okay. But she does react differently now. When she has accidents, she actually like physically says, oh no, like she knows that that was not what was supposed to happen. So we're working on it, we're getting there, but we have made so much progress, like I said, and I'm just truly so proud of her. And I think, you know, like again, I said, while this journey will not be linear by any means, we are making progress. And I did mention this in a vlog, but we did have a very successful like, outing potty break. So that was a super big moment for us. So that was exciting. Anyway, oh yeah, so this kind of post potty training video, I am not trying to knock, you know, methods by any means. I think certain what's the word? Like I was able to kind of cherry pick certain things that worked for my toddler, but I did have to tailor our method more or less. I had to, you know, cater to her and her needs and, you know, her willingness to do this, that, and whatnot. So I don't want to say that the 3-day method doesn't work, but, you know, it just didn't work for us, at least not the way that, you know, they tell you it'll work. But that's fine. You know, I did learn some things, and I was able to apply some of those parts of the method. So by any means, I am not disappointed. I just, you know, these are the things that happen in motherhood, right? It's just, you learn, if you mess up, you learn, you figure it out, and you move on, and keep going. Anyway, so yeah, this ended up being quite the chatty video. I hope it made some sort of sense. You know, I was trying to not really just, I wasn't trying to just babble, but I kind of really just wanted to recap our experience and ultimately just say that if a certain method does not work for you and your child, you know, tailor it to your needs. Like, you don't need to follow these specific rules as long as you and your child are safe. You know, as long as it's working for you, everyone is safe and happy, there is no need to force something that doesn't work. And that's the biggest takeaway that I've learned from all of this, is that I need to stop thinking that, you know, I can just blanket out some sort of method or system or something and think that, oh, this will work for my child because they said it works. So anyway, that is the not end of our potty training, potty learning journey, but at least the end of this little recap. And I will definitely give some more updates in probably our vlogs or maybe some of my mama chats in future videos if you are curious to see how we're doing with that. Because I believe, I was just talking to my husband about this, I believe we're going to be in this for, you know, a number of years. Because when does the potty training truly ever end? Until they're completely independent, right? Anyway, I hope you enjoyed this little recap, chat, experience, story, whatever you want to call it. So thanks for hanging out and kind of listening to our journey, our potty learning, potty training journey. And if you are going through this with your little one, I wish you all the best, all the strength, and all of the support that you need. And, you know, if you will get through this, that's point blank, you will get through this. It will always get better on the other side. You are not alone. Anyway, thanks for watching, and I will see you in the next video. Bye. Just loving